Hello, everyone, and welcome to RTB 2021 program the church is doing together as a church. My name is Davis. I'm the intern. If we haven't gotten the chance to meet, I'm terribly sorry, but hopefully we'll get the chance to meet soon. Today, our four chapters are Exodus 32, Proverbs 8, John 11, and Ephesians 1. And so I'll go ahead and get to talking about Exodus 32. In Exodus 32, we see the golden calf episode in which Moses is on the mountain talking to the Lord, and the people of Israel get unruly, and they subject themselves to a massive covenant breach only chapters after they had committed to keeping the covenant of the Lord. And this chapter really shows the unfaithful nature of the Israelites at that time, and the grumbling and the impatience and the turning away from the Lord, even to false idols that they claimed were to be the Lord, such as the golden calf. And this is while Moses is currently, God is currently crafting the tablets for Moses. You even see Moses come down with them and throw them on the ground, which is a symbolic thing. Moses breaks the covenant tablets just as Israel had just broken the covenant. You also find a very pastoral Moses pleading to the Lord so that the Israelites may continue to live, even though they don't deserve it. Moses even saying, you can blot out my name from your book if it means that Israel will continue. So it's a very beautiful chapter. Proverbs 8, you have wisdom personified as Lady Wisdom, crying out on the corner, crying out for the sons of man, the fools and the ignorant to come receive wisdom from her. And in 6 through 11, you have the importance of wisdom and the theological significance. In 12 through 21, you have a description of the character of wisdom. And in 22 through 31, you have a description of the origin of wisdom, which is very similar to what we have in Job 28. The wisdom being formed and used by God in his creation. Very beautiful poetry and very beautiful personification of wisdom, and another exposition to the readers of the Bible that wisdom is so important, the fear of the Lord. We also have John 11, and John 11 is the final. In John, there's two massive sections of John, the book of the signs and then the book of the Passion. And in John 11 is the final messianic sign, if you will, before the Passion scene. And what you have is Jesus arriving to Bethany, and you have a very intimate scene of the Messiah weeping over the loss of his friend. And this is very, in the Greek, it's a standalone term in the New Testament, the word for weep. In other places, it's a different verb. But this one literally means like a silent weeping, like a very intimate and passionate weeping. But then you find an amazing miracle that Jesus performs, raising Lazarus from the dead, from the grave, even while he's tied up, even though even his sisters protest and say, surely he'll smell bad. But Jesus, anticipating his own resurrection, raises Lazarus from the dead. You also find from the Jews the plan to kill Jesus, claiming that he was performing false works in the name of something else. And you find their plan really being put to action, which after chapter 12 really opens the way for the Passion scene. But this is a beautiful, beautiful miracle performed by Jesus. And then we have Ephesians 1, which is not in any sense of the word an easy chapter to read through, but is a very comforting chapter for people who are hurting and afflicted. And so what we see in this chapter is that God loved us before the foundation of the world, which is mind-blowing to us. Before the thing we walk on, we live on every day, before that was even created, God loved us. We also see that God has blessed us in Christ with every spiritual blessing in the heavenly places. And he has chose us in him so that we may be holy and blameless before him. Predestined us for adoption as sons through Jesus Christ. And I understand that for a lot of us, predestination is a very hard concept to wrap our brain around. But as one of my best friends taught, when he taught Ephesians 1 to BCM earlier this semester, he taught predestination is never a word used for scholars to sit around and smoke pipes and grow their beards very long and debate and argue. But instead, predestination, Paul uses it in Romans and in different places, and it's found throughout the Bible to comfort the afflicted and the hurting, which is a very beautiful idea. The love of God in his salvation to us he has gone so far even as to adopt us as his own. And eventually we see in the beginning of time God loved us, and in the end of time we will be united in Christ because of his steadfast love for us. Ephesians 1, 3 through 14 is one long, eloquent sentence in the Greek, as well as 15 through 23 is the same way. And we find two very different type of feels to these sentences. In 3 through 14 we find this elegant theological kind of exposition that Paul offers to the Ephesians in order that they may be comforted and blessed through that. But in 15 through 23, we see Paul, his prayer of thanksgiving, as some call it, and he prays that the church, he's writing to the Ephesians, but he means the church in general, could gain an insight of the powerful gospel and the powerful gifts that God has provided for us. So Ephesians 1, like I said, could be a very difficult chapter for some of us to read, especially if we bring our theological presuppositions into the chapter. But instead, we should be comforted in the salvation and the power that God has given us. So I hope that helps. All very beautiful chapters, all very telling of the nature of people and of the nature of God and his salvation. So, all right.